Yo, what's up, YouTube? We're in the armory today. We're literally in here. You probably hear a little bit of an echo. And we were looking at bags, right? And this bag did look kind of cool. I mean, come on, look at this thing, right? It's got like some kind of polymer, uh, you know, skeleton in there to, protect your stuff, right? But then we're looking at the price. They want 300 stones for this Mavk. And I was like, you know what? Maybe, if you really wanted a high quality bag, um, the reason we're talking about this is because my bag came in. I ended up with an amazing effing bag, and my bag doesn't have like this plastic exoskeleton crap, whatever this polymer is that they're calling. But my bag does have it's not like a backpack. I'll make a vid on it showing it because I think it's just like the bee's effing knees for what it is. But the bag that I have has like a core structure inside like this as well. Now, I'm not going to cut mine open to see what mine's made out of. It's obviously not made out of some kind of polymer like this. Mine feels like it's like really, really hardened rubber foam type of deal. But it gives my bag all the rigidity that it needs, and it keeps an awesome shape. The most important thing, though, is they're selling this as a downrange gun. Now, I will say this bag looks a little bit thicker. Maybe you could fit more firearms stacked up in here. They don't really... They show you a little bit of how it looks inside. There's a bunch of those little pockets. I'm sure you could take some of those out, though. Right, because they would, I would expect to fit a firearm in this thing if I was going to take it to the range. Yeah, maybe they just like go onto the side of it. Is that how they, okay, so this is how they expect you to carry your firearm, I guess, on this bag. They just kind of strap onto the back of it, and they hang off the back, maybe. I will give them props. It looks like there is a pocket on the inside of this thing to maybe put a plate in there. And the reason those are cool, I think, is not because I'm trying to put an armor plate on the inside of my backpack, but if I'm carrying a bunch of weight in it, I will use this pocket to put some kind of memory foam in there or something. So just the backpack with a lot of weight in it grips my back better, right? But yeah, this looks like this is how... They're saying, obviously, like, you're going to take this to the gun range because you're going to be able just to strap your gun in whatever little canvas case you have for it to the side of the bag. Okay, what is this? Let's see. Okay, right, so there are your gun holders right there. I don't know if this is something else somebody just strapped onto the side of the bags, but it's clear that this is how they're advertising you're going to be carrying your guns around in this thing by, slapping them to the side of it. Let's take a picture. Let's take a look at the... Okay, because this one looks like it has different side straps or different things strapped to the side, and they have these pockets instead of a gun hanging off of it. And this guy obviously has two guns. So for me, maybe if I had like full-size rifles, I would consider this. It is a $300 price tag, and I don't know if you have to buy your own, special gun cases to slip onto the side of this. But the thing is, too, it's pretty freaking obvious what's on your back. It is pretty freaking obvious that you are carrying a bag filled with ammo and guns, right? And that's not always, the best thing. If you're going to the range... It's not going to matter because everyone in there knows that you're probably walking in with a gun in whatever bag you're bringing. So, but for $299, as cool as this looks, I cannot give this the stamp of approval. I'm sorry, not after the bag that I got. And I'm actually willing to kind of compare my bag to this bag, even though this bag literally costs more than 3 times as much as the one that I got, because I'm so happy with the one that I got. How do we get from because it was like an Instagram thing. We can go to Primary Arms, though. Yeah, I will actually be showing off my bag in comparison to that one. I think you can get my bag off of Primary Arms. I'll give you guys a hint. The bag that I got is a Savior. Is it Survivor? Is it Savior? I don't know, but I'll show it off. It is definitely a badass bag for like a zombie apocalypse. It even has like a secret machete pocket or a fast draw pocket for like a pistol that you want to put in there. And it just, I'll show it to you guys. It's not going to be like this $300 bag that has like this not micro, that has this plastic. I'm trying to think of the most fancy word that I can say for plastic, because that's literally what they've done with that bag. They've put a plastic box on the inside of it to give it some rigidity and, you know, charge $300 for it. They're going to call it some kind of special polymer. Me and you both know it's some kind of plastic mix. I'm not dissing polymers at all. They're great for what they need to be, and they take weight off of things. Definitely looks like a cool bag, but for that $300 price tag, I will show you guys something a little bit better, I think. And one of the things that that bag advertised was, obviously the bag only needs to be like, you know, 18 or 19 inches to hold all your stuff, because you're strapping your firearms to the side of it. So then, you know, you can have a 35-inch long rifle, you know, hanging off the side of that rifle bag. So, you know, you actually don't have to have a bag big enough to fit your rifle into. So I guess that's one of the cool things about it, is if you want to spend $300 on that bag, it's going to be guaranteed to fit whatever rifle you got, just not inside of it. And for me, I wanted a bag that actually fits a rifle inside of it and that doesn't look like a gun bag, so people don't freak out when they see you unloading your stuff or taking it anywhere. Yeah, just like a bag that you can keep locked up in the back of your trunk that just looks like a backpack or something like that, in case you need to protect yourself or your family, you know, or just a nice case to take to the range, take wherever. I could walk down a trail with my backpack and it would just look like somebody hiking. It even has like a little spot to stuff a bag, one of those rolls into, so it really does look like a camping bag. So I'll be showing that because I think it really stacks up to this other bag that I was just showing that was like $300, and I think it does some things very nice, even nicer than this other bag with this plastic box on the inside of it. So I'm gonna get that set up because I'll be messing with that bag today, and I'll actually go through the stuff that I have packed in it, just, you know, for the like survival trip that me and my boys are gonna be taking. They're gonna have to set up their own shelter, and I have a whole list of things that I want to teach them how to do just in case, right? My grandpa was a woodsman out in Siberia, so I feel like there's at least a few things I need to pass on to my idiot kids just in case they ever need to survive. Luckily for them, they'll never have to survive a night in a forest in Siberia, but they could get lost out here in Michigan somewhere. So I'm just kind of getting like somewhat of a survival bag ready to take on our camping trip, to have everything there. And the bag came in, and I'll show you guys in the next vid. It is all awesome, and I'll show you what I put in it just to be prepared. And it's a killer bag, and yo, it's not going to be no $300, and I feel so strongly about these Savior bags. I'm so glad I picked it, because I almost picked a different looking bag, but again, it looked kind of like a gun case to me. And I was like, no, we'll try our luck with this one. And man, I feel like I rolled the dice and it really paid off. So I'll be showing the Savior bag, and I'll be showing the different build that I've been doing for my AR, for my family's survival gun. That's actually been coming together really, really great. I feel like I've been lucky as hell, because like, you know, building an AR isn't just like buying Legos and sticking them together. Some people will say it is, but, you know, not really. Different things have different tolerances, and some things just don't fit the way that you want them to. I feel like I've been extremely lucky with all the purchases that I made, and I will have the finished product to show everybody soon with the AR build that I'm doing. But before I show anything and talk shit about anything, I'm going to go shoot it. I'm going to go shoot it and make sure that everything works as flawlessly as I want it to before I show it off. But it's going to be a pretty cool reveal, and I think I'll reveal the bag, and with the bag, obviously, you guys will get to see the hardware that I have in there that I'm working on. So yeah, we have a bunch of crazy legislation going through in this country right now that they're working on. And if you want to have your personal protection, it's one of these things where you kind of need to take care of it now before you can't have a chance to do it later. In fact, the bill they were talking about yesterday, they were like, hey, this isn't going to take away your guns. This will just take away your children's guns. We'll phase them out then. You get to still keep yours, which really still hurts us as a country in the end. And hey, I'm not a gun guy. I was not like infatuated with guns. I didn't even get my first gun till I was after 30, because I realized when I was carjacked and shot and stabbed that yes, whenever something bad happens, the police are going to come and take care of it. But the problem is the police, they only show up after the crime's been committed. 99.9% of the time. The only way to actually stop anything bad from happening to you while it's happening and before irreversible damage is done and maybe your life is even lost is to be able to defend yourself right there on the spot and take care of the problem yourself. I can honestly tell you right now, if I had been carrying 15 years ago, I can almost promise you that I wouldn't have these 2 stab wounds that I have on my body, and I wouldn't have 6 bullets in my body, 2 of which, 2 went all the way through. 2 of them I got surgically removed. 1 of them I removed myself, and I still have 1 of them in my arm. It's slowly coming up in my shoulder. The doctor told me that it was so deep in my muscular tissue that they would have to cut and slice so much to get to it. Because it was my shoulder and rotator cuff area, I would probably lose part of the function on my arm, and I didn't want to chance that, especially at the time with the work that I was doing. So I just had to let it heal, and my doctor said that it would start slowly, naturally pushing the bullet up to the surface. And it has. Like, I can see it. There's like a blue spot on my arm. When I squeeze it, I can see the bullet in there. And one of these days, when it gets a little closer and I feel like I'm not taking the chance of really hurting my arm, I will probably most likely slice that one out of there too, and I will have all those bullets out of my body. But I learned something there that day, that yeah, the cops are going to get there, but they're going to get there after you're shot. And actually, after the perp got away, these Detroit police officers, they were like, hey, why don't we charge this guy with something? He called us out here. Yeah, he got shot and he was the victim, but like the bad guy's already gone and we've like wasted 3 hours here. Can we give him a ticket for something? And they started actually threatening me. So it was one of the worst situations I've ever dealt with in my life. I refused medical attention because I didn't want to deal with the Detroit cops that were being such pieces of shit to me. I drove all the way home back to Flint in the pouring rain with my windshield wipers stuck because the dude that tried to carjack me tried to hotwire my car, and my Cadillac had a pass lock system in it. So all he did is destroy everything and couldn't steal the car. But the windshield wipers were on high, and as soon as I started driving to Flint to go down to the hospital in my area, it stopped raining magically. The hurricane was over, and when I tell you that this was the most infuriating drive home, I mean, like, my car was destroyed. The Cadillac I loved, that like I actually put time and money into, was destroyed. Since he couldn't hotwire my car, he tried to cut through the back seat to get into the trunk because he thought he was gonna pull these 15-inch subwoofers out when they're like 350 fucking pounds, and it took 3 people just to get him into the trunk. But this idiot didn't know any of that. He thought he could cut through the back seat of my Cadillac and get into the trunk somehow before the cops showed up. And guess what? My Cadillac had a solid steel wall behind the trunk. I actually remember having to have that thing ported so more of the bass from the 15s could get into the actual car and not just rattle my trunk to death. So yeah, all he did pretty much was just destroy and shit all over my beautiful Cadillac. He stole a cheap CD player that he ripped out of the car. That's the only thing he managed to get. It was a cheap piece of shit Walmart Jensen CD player that I literally bought to stick in there so I could listen to my subs and have music while I was working on my like actual expensive touchscreen in-dash head receiver that was going to be the system for that car. So it's not like this guy like carjacked me to get anything good either. Now if he would have got away with my car, yes, they would have taken my caddy to a chop shop. Somebody would have easily gave this guy like thousands of dollars for carjacking me, and yeah, my car would have been gone. So terrible story, but like I said, if I actually would have had a piece on me, then I can honestly tell you right now, there's like a 99% chance that that whole situation would have played out completely different. He would have put the knife up to my throat. I would have said, okay. And I would have got out of the car exactly like I did. And then I would have drawn a gun and told him to get the fuck on and walk. And he would have. And then I would have gotten in my car and I would have drove away and never would have ever even had to deal with those racist fucking cops that tried to, I wouldn't have had to deal with any of that shit. And that's what I realized. But with great power comes with great responsibilities. And I'm sure some of you can already point out the illegal thing that I just said. I just talked about drawing a gun, but not actually using it. But the point is, at least I would have that option. And if I truly thought that I could draw my gun and use it to get out of a bad situation where I was going to get stabbed and killed and I didn't have to take a life, personally, I'll risk it for that. Because I ain't trying to kill nobody for nothing. And even if you're trying to carjack me because you're some kind of crackhead, yeah, you're partially to blame for that, definitely. But I'm sure your drug addiction is too, and you're a person at the end of the day, and I don't wish ill will on anybody. But I'm just letting you guys know I'm like not a gun nut. That's not what this is about. But I do feel like this is why I have protection for myself and my family. I have kids now. I also have a business where I'm in charge of multiple homes. I have to pull up to houses that we're working on all the time at like 2, 3 in the morning and check them. And sometimes there's like people trying to break into them. Sometimes there's people trying to squat. It's just bad situations can happen, and I've seen it firsthand. And that is why I think we all should have the right to protect ourselves. That is all I'm trying to do, is protect myself. And I figured, you know what, before any of this ban crap happens and before any of this goes too far, I might as well get the rig, some sort of protection system for me and my family and do it all right and get all the right components. And I will share that with you guys. I will show you guys what I picked for my zombie apocalypse bag and, what's all in it. It's not fully done yet. We're waiting on a couple of things, but I think it'll make for an interesting video. All right, but I can tell you right now, this $300 bag we started looking at the beginning of this video, it was definitely on the list of things to check. But I went with another one, and it's cheaper, and I think honestly it might even be better. So I'll show that. But check out primaryarms.com. They do have a bunch of cool stuff in here. I'm not ordering uppers and lowers and stuff because I'm not. I haven't built an AR, and that's not something that I would do lightly because I understand the consequences of fucking something like this up. I know it's doable, but I feel like I would just want more time and experience before I started buying parts and actually started putting them together. And who knows, we might never get that now. We might never have that now. Or everything might be all right. Either way, I don't want to chance it. I want to make sure that my family is going to be safe. And so look forward for a video to come out about that. My zombie survival backpack, that's what I will call it. And we'll go over all that fun stuff. So later, everybody. Hope you enjoyed.